What's up, fungal associates? Welcome to Completely Arbortrary. This is the podcast about trees and other related topics. I'm one of your hosts, a very tan Alex Crowson. And over there on the big green couch, we have Casey Clapp.
I'm also tan, Alex.
Yes.
Thanks a lot.
Well, you're not exactly Hawaii tan,
Oh,
Casey.
wow. All right. Well, let us know, Alex. Where have you been?
Hawaii, and you know what I did there, Casey?
Got sunburned.
Yes, but I also got you a little something.
What? You got me something?
I got you something. Close your eyes.
Okay.
I got you a little take. Well, I guess, keep them closed. I'm going to throw something toward you.
This is good stuff. Ah.
It's next to you.
Okay. Just can I
Open your eyes and see what it is.
My heart's pounding.
It's a throwing knife. Hawaii's Flowers.
It's a pocket guide.
It's a little pocket guide.
Wow. This is by Leland Mayano and Douglas Peebles.
Do you have that one?
No.
Okay, great.
No. I don't think I was into plants when I went to Hawaii.
Well, here's the story behind this.
Wow. Okay, tell me.
I was like, I want to get Casey a tree book about Hawaii while I'm here in Hawaii.
Okay.
I could not find one, but I could find beautiful. Flowers of Hawaii.
Wow, green jade vine, strong ladon.
That's right, strong ladon. And, of course, there are some trees in there.
Yeah,
so
this is nice.
It'll unfortunately have to do. Sorry. Ooh, Casey opened the centerfold vertically.
Yeah. Things are getting intense over here.
What was that centerfold, Casey?
Kahuyo vine. Ipomea horsefolia.
Good.
I love that name.
Now, Casey, react to this present while you turn up that middle dial on that box in front of you.
Wow! How about that? I just reacted in a large room.
Yes, that's that whole...
Oh, look at that. I'm going through the Echo Master.
Yeah, and you can turn up those knobs and have some fun with it throughout the podcast.
Okay. Yow!
Ooh.
See how good I am?
Nice. We're going to talk about a tree this week, and this week's tree is the Bigberry Manzanita.
Sure is. Anyone know anything about that?
When a Manzanita some lovin'.
When a Manzanita.
He goes to a break and listens to an AI ad about McDonald's.
Wow. Oh,
so we're going to do that real quick, and when we get back, we're going to talk Bigberry Manzanita right here on Completely Arbortrary. Welcome back to Completely Arbortrary. Today we're talking Bigberry, or I'm gonna call it, in the British sense, Bigberry.
Oh, okay, all right, sure.
Bigberry Manzanita. Casey, let's imagine, as we do every episode, that you and I are on the Oregon coast.
Okay.
And because that is where the city of Manzanita is.
There is a city called Manzanita on the Oregon coast. That is correct.
And they have many beaches there. And we come across a Bigberry Manzanita on the big beach of Manzanita.
There you go.
Let's ID this tree.
Let's do it, Alex. So first off, I should note, if you saw a Bigberry Manzanita on the coast of Oregon in the town of Manzanita, you would probably be like, what? Why is this here?
Interesting.
It, in fact, grows natively nowhere near the town of Manzanita.
Southern California?
It's from Southern California. You're exactly right.
Damn it.
It's okay, Alex. We use our imagination here all the time. Nobody is upset.
All right.
But the Bigberry Manzanita does, in fact, grow natively down in Southern California. More specifically, it grows kind of from the Los Angeles area up is the best way to phrase it. So Los Angeles, where it is in that section of California, it actually curves really intensely to the east. So California, everyone thinks, oh, it's a vertically oriented state. But really, it actually comes down and then curves over towards the southeast. And along the coast there, the coast really, for all intents and purposes, is south and the land is north. So really far down there, right above,
I see.
Kind of where L.A. is and all those little towns.
Sure.
So this is the big manzanita of that area. It grows in the mountains in the dry woodland chaparral area with some spots going north, goes down into Baja, California, down in Mexico.
Before we continue, scientific name?
The scientific name is Arctostaphylos glauca.
Wow, Arctostaphylos. Okay.
Yeah, what do you think of that?
That's pretty cool.
All right, yeah.
Glauca white?
Yes, well, yes, pretty much. It just means it has that bluish tinge on the leaves is what that's referring to.
Okay.
Precisely. So in that little area where it grows, it is the biggest. In fact, it doesn't matter where it's growing. If it is grow in there, it being a species, will be the biggest of all of them. This is one of 2 tree-like species of Manzanita.
The biggest Manzanita trees.
Yes.
Okay.
Which...
Because Manzanita is not a tree-heavy family?
It's really not. It's not at all. Well, it's not a family. It's just a genus. But it's just not... It's mostly shrubs.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know this.
It is a huge genus. It has I shouldn't say huge. It's fairly large. It's got 60 or so different species, depending on how you calculate them. Lots of little subspecies and varieties all over the place. But of all of them, there are 2, Arctostaphylos manzanita, Arctostaphylos glauca, that become tree-like.
Okay.
The rest of them, they all stay shrubby. In fact, one, Arctostaphylos uva ursi, which is called kinnicknick or bearberry.
Oh, yeah, uva.
If you want to do this in the English way, it'd be Bigberry.
Burberry.
Yes,
Burberry.
Exactly, Burberry. But it's not like Burberry, like the clothes with the patterns on it.
Yeah, yeah.
Different. This is just
different?
the English pronunciation of a different thing.
Okay.
It's very confusing. I'm
Different.
sorry.
All right.
Yeah, that's actually circumpolar, the kinnicknick.
Wow.
And it grows as like a prostate shrub. So it doesn't get really tall, it just kind of crawls along the ground. Prostate shrub. Prostate? Yeah, prostate. Yeah, I said that right, didn't I? Hold on, Alex. Prostate.
They really call it prostate?
No. You misheard me. Prostrate.
I did not misheard you. You misspoke, Casey.
Let's go to the record. What does the record say, Alex?
I am 99% sure you said prostate.
I am 99% sure I said prostrate.
Or maybe I've got prostates on the brain.
Prostrate. That's with an R before the A after the first T.
Low to the ground.
Low to the ground.
Cool.
And otherwise, it's just a shrub that grows in butts.
Yeah. I've got a couple of those, too.
Okay. We should move on. This is a family-oriented podcast.
I suppose so.
Well, this is, that's one of those. It's the only species of Arctostaphylos that grows across the entire world. All the rest, every single one, grows along the west coast from Canada to Mexico.
Wow.
And they are really focused in the California floristic province.
Okay.
That essentially is California. Goes from the Baja area just south of the U.S.-Mexico border and then up through to southern Oregon, and it excludes all of the deserts in California. It's just this really interesting area that just grows these wild species. Everyone loves California. I get it. California, for me, I'm a little biased towards Oregon, so, there's a chip on the old Oregonian shoulder.
Sure.
Being West Coasters that no one thinks about.
They're not our real enemies, Casey.
They are not our real enemies. In fact, I'm really liking what Gavin Newsom is doing. I think it's very funny.
Good.
But the big thing is that California, for all that it is and is not, has a fantastic amount of really interesting flora.
Yes.
Right there.
That's right.
Oh, it's frustrating. They're just everything. It's got diverse flora, and half of that is because it has this really intense Mediterranean climate. So it gets water during the mild winters, and then it is dry as hell for the rest of the year. And our Manzanita species, along with all of the rest that grow down there, are perfectly adapted to this particular climate.
Cool.
And they have flourished in what we call the chaparral.
The chaparral.
Which we'll talk about in a bit. But first, the question is, of all of our 60 species, how do we tell these ones apart?
Okay.
So,
are we going to go through each one?
No.
Come on, Case.
Alex, I'm sorry. I did not bring the proper book because we are not going down that rabbit hole. But for those of you who are wondering, how would I do that if I was going to do that? You would go get the Field Guide to Manzanitas by the one and only Michael Kaufman.
Can I say something
You love
snarky?
him.
I love Michael Kaufman.
Okay, I should also say Michael Vasey and Tom Parker with photos by Jeff Bisbee. What were you going to say?
Tell me the name of the book again.
Field Guide to Manzanitas. There's no the.
Wow, sounds like a thrilling read.
Alex, it is.
This is kind of like cool teenage Alex.
Yeah, he's just being cool. He has a copy, and all the pages stick together.
I never was cool teenage Alex, so I have to make up for it now.
You have to do it now. Hi, I'm a 36-year-old cool teenage Alex today.
It's not weird.
It is totally normal.
Well, Casey, let's talk about the parts of this tree.
Yeah, how do we identify the heck out of it?
Yeah,
right?
let's do it.
So the first thing is, it's the most tree-like you're going to find, pretty much.
Of the Manzanitas.
So it will be about 30 feet tall, and that's like at the highest height.
Okay.
Generally speaking, the biggest ones that most people are finding are about 25 feet tall, 8 meters.
All right.
So, it gets there. It'll become a tree.
Sure.
And it usually has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 stems. It is a multi-stemmed tree.
Okay.
And that is because usually is growing in places where there's a lot of fire. But because it's not really strictly, I am a tree and I shall grow like a tree, it tends to send up a couple stems here or there. Some sprouts come off. They all become this tall tree-like shrubby thing.
And this is from the base. It's not like it
Correct.
starts with one stem and then splits off. I guess that's
Exactly.
more tree-like.
Yeah. So you can find one nice long stem, but it almost immediately, a foot or two off the ground, it will split into 2 new stems, and then 3, then 4, then 10, and you'll have this nice kind of. It's a very like umbrella-shaped little guy.
Yeah. It's not bad looking.
It's not bad looking, and the thing that really, really makes it good looking are those beautiful stems. It's the thing that you're going to notice right when you walk up to it, because it has this ruby, dark burnt ruby maroon colored bark.
Wow.
That will grow and cover perfectly smooth stems that are very muscly looking. They look very sinuous.
Cool.
As they come up and out. And if you get close enough, you can touch it, and it usually feels cool. A lot of people call them cooling trees or something similar to that because
Temperature-wise?
temperature-wise.
Why?
Yes. Well, they grow in really hot areas, and if you touch their bark, it just is generally cooler because it's often in the shade and it's very smooth.
Full of water?
It does have water in it, but it's not necessarily full of water, I would say.
Like most trees.
Yeah, it is, but usually they just have thicker bark, these other trees. This has smooth bark that you can just touch, and you can feel it immediately be a little bit cooler than the surrounding things around it. So obviously they're in the shade, you're not going to be touching a rock, it's going to be hot.
But lots of trees are in the shade.
It's
what makes
true.
this one special?
Well, this one has that really smooth bark.
Oh, so the texture also kind of makes it feel
Yeah.
cool to the touch.
Exactly,
Okay,
because you're
I
touching
get
the
you.
whole thing. It's like touching a pipe rather than something that has more texture to it, so you're not getting a full grip on it.
Sure, your surface area is higher.
Exactly.
Okay, gotcha.
So those stems usually have no hairs on them, even the smallest twigs, glabrous, hairless. And one thing that is really cool about these and other species of manzanita is that they will often have sections of their stems die, like the bark around it will die. So you'll get new stems. So you'll get stems that are growing up, but have sections that are dead that are kind of like weathered wood, like a grayish brown color
On the tree?
on the tree. So you have this two-toned appearance. It's almost like it's striped with living and dead bark, or living and dead stem tissue.
This is very interesting.
Yeah, so if you give a Google to this species, you'll often find these really nice pictures of these big trees with stems that look two-toned because some parts are dead, some parts are still alive, and the living part tends to spiral up and around. So you get this really gorgeous pattern underneath while the tree is basically just adapting and saying, great, you kill me over there, I'm still going to grow over here and I'm going to look beautiful.
This is fascinating. It almost looks like the rotting flesh of a zombie.
That is not what I expected you to say. Could you expand on that, Alex?
Well, no, you know what it really looks like is if you have you ever see those candy maker videos? They'll have 2 colors of taffy.
Oh, okay,
and
sure.
they'll kind of twist them together and mold them together.
Yeah.
And there's a moment before they're entirely incorporated that you can see the stripes of the different colors.
Wow, yeah, totally.
It's a very strange look.
Yeah,
And
you like it? Do you think it looks good?
Well, the outside part, I guess the living part maybe, almost looks like an infection taking over the tree or something.
Yes, that's a great way to look
pretty
at
cool.
it. And that is the bark, the new cambium compartmentalizing over all of the
Yeah.
dead sections.
So if you cut into one of these, into
Yeah.
a nice big, stem, is it going to look like mortadella with, all these little spots of
it could,
dead wood?
It may, I would guess yes, because what would happen is usually it has one sprout comes up and maybe 2 or 3 pop up from the base. Those get bigger and bigger and kind of all smash themselves together. Then some of that bark will die, then some of it will regrow in a different place, and maybe you'll have a new stem that gets enveloped as it gets larger. So my guess is, yes, you would see that. But it's not necessarily you'll have one stem that is regrowing over its old thing over and over and over.
Okay.
Usually it would be more that you have several stems, each of which have done that a little bit. And when they all get really big and smash themselves together into one lower stem, then you'll be like, wow, the texture off the charts.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, so super.
Wow, it sounds like a mess.
It's I don't know, it's a controlled mess. It's a mess that looks really beautiful.
It's like a highly curated thrift store.
Yes.
Well, this old shit, but it's really well displayed.
It's so perfectly laid out. Yeah, I think that's exactly the right thing.
It's very strange.
Yeah, so you walk into it, you see this bark, and you're like, oh my God, this is stunning. The next thing you're going to notice are, of course, the leaves. Mm-hmm. They're evergreen, so you're going to see them all year long.
Cool.
They are small. They're maybe 1 to 2 inches. When they're smaller, they're more round. When they're longer, they're more oval in shape. When they're more oval, they have like a very tapering tip. But when they're rounded, it's almost like they just have a little one single pop-up right at the very, very tip. Very mucronate would be the term. It has a teeny tiny little blip blip, while everything else just looks kind of small.
Casey's making like a little carrot, like a grammatical carrot.
Exactly.
These, I always, I love these leaves, by the way.
You do? Okay.
They look very much like the head of a canoe paddle.
They do, totally.
Paddle-like, I think we've said before, right? Yeah, these are great.
Yeah, I'm glad you like them. Of course, they are glaucous. That's the name of the whole plant.
And Casey, tell me how they grow, because they look like they grow in sort of an interesting pattern.
They grow very upright, don't they?
They really do.
They are pointed upwards towards the sky.
And they're oppositely arranged?
They are alternately arranged. They are in the Ericaceae family, so these are related to madrones and to blueberries and to rhododendrons and the like.
Okay.
So they look like they're opposite because they're mostly like spiraled half the time. But yes, they are alternately arranged.
Okay.
Now, here's the fun thing that is really interesting about those leaves. Most manzanitas will have vertically oriented leaves. And the reason they do this, and the reason that this one also has that glaucous covering on it, is because it's extremely adapted to these very hot, dry conditions in this California floristic province.
Okay.
So what does that do? Why is that important? Essentially, if you are vertically oriented, then as the sun shines in the morning, when it's not quite so hot, it will be hitting one side of the leaves. As it goes to the very tippy top of the sky, when it gets the hottest,
not touching the leaf, barely.
It's like glancing on the sides, and it's hitting just the edge, so it's really not touching the leaf a whole lot. Then as it fades over in the afternoon, it can be shaded by other leaves and other things around ever so slightly, and generally speaking, it's not quite so hot and penetrating, especially later in the evening.
And that's the side that hasn't been hit all day.
Exactly.
Too.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And, of course, because it's glaucous, it's a little bit more of a light color, which reflects a lot of the UV lights and all the other things that the tree doesn't necessarily want.
Yeah, it's got some sunscreen on
Exactly. It's a sunscreen. This is exactly it. It's like mineral sunscreen. So it has that white covering, which is reflects all the, well, not all, but much of the light away.
You know, when I put my sunscreen on when I was in Hawaii, it made my skin kind of blue.
Really?
Is that normal?
Well, it's probably because that was mineral sunscreen.
Yes.
So it's not that it makes it blue, it's just that your skin is kind of red, and when you put the very light coloring on it of the white, it does the same thing that this does.
Sure.
So the coloring of the glaucousness is more or less white, but with the colors underneath shining through, it kind of changes the tones a little bit.
I was a glaucous man.
You're just a glaucous guy. There you go. Well done.
What more can I say?
Well, you should probably put more on because you did get some.
Moron? Who are you calling a moron?
Oh, sorry. I just am walking through here, okay?
I gotcha. Casey, let's talk about the flowers.
Yeah, what do you think of those? You seen them? You know what they look like?
They're just the most adorable thing.
Okay, tell us why you think this.
They are sort of an inflorescence of these little bells.
There we go.
Bell is not quite the right...
I do want to just take a quick note.
Oh.
Good job. That is an inflorescence. I saw the questioning look in your eyes when you looked at me, and I wanted to give you a big thumbs up.
Oh, thanks. I 100% thought you were going to correct me.
No.
Wow. Praise from Casey Clapp.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Alex. It's like I never give him a compliment.
I'm having fun. Come on.
Get out of here.
Sorry. Thank you for the praise. Give me a little echo, baby.
Get out of here.
It's like I'm surrounded.
Yeah, on all sides.
No, Casey gives me plenty of praise. He's very complimentary. He loves me and I love him. Anyway, these flowers are like bubblegum pink.
Yes.
And they hang down. And they look like just the little tips of your thumbs.
Yeah.
Just little guys, little bells. And then the like the bud scales on top like where they like on the petiole.
Yep.
Curve out in this little fancy dress pattern.
Isn't that nice?
They're gorgeous, Casey.
They are so lovely.
The color is insane. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe I'm looking at maybe a younger one or a different kind.
No, they all pretty
Bright
much do
pink.
that. Yeah. They're somewhere between pinkish and reddish and whitish.
Yes.
Depending on where you are, and honestly, depending on what species, they all kind of have the same color, the same style of flowers.
Yeah, I think they're gorgeous.
Yeah, I'm happy that you think so. I also think so. Being in the Ericaceae family, it is extremely common to have what we call urn-shaped flowers, which they're laying down, so they look like bells.
Yeah.
Because they usually have like this kind of elongated, wide oval, and then at the very tip, they all just kind of go whoop, and then pop out.
They have a little flare, like a flared gene.
Right? So each of those flowers is in fact 5 petals that are all fused together except at the very tip where they open up and flare out.
Interesting.
And what's interesting about this is that it makes it extremely hard for insects to get inside of the flower and pollinate it.
Why would they want that?
Well, because these are flowers that are interestingly pollinated by bees, specifically native honeybee, specifically native bees to the West Coast.
Okay.
Not the imported honeybees that are the European ones that everyone's very worried about. Oh my gosh, save the bees.
Right.
Yes, we've talked about this before. I will not rehash it.
No, I was
Alex is
rolling
like,
my
"Ooh,
eyes at the
please."
Save the Bees people, not you.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Sorry.
So
I can't help rolling my eyes.
No, it's okay. You
I do
can
it a
keep doing
lot,
it.
unfortunately.
Yes, if you guys are interested in what we're talking about, essentially, Save the Bees is great. Yeah, totally. But they're talking about the non-native, I don't know if invasive is quite the right term, but it's the production level honeybees that are taken around in trucks and all over the year, the big hives out in the fields and things like that.
It's sort of the all lives matter of the honey industry.
Okay, sure. I think I see where you're going with that.
Native bees' lives matter.
Yes.
And then these people are like, save the bees.
Save all the bees.
Yeah,
Okay, there you go. I see where you're at.
Uh-huh.
So essentially, these are native species, and we have dozens and dozens and dozens of species of native bees.
Oh, yeah.
Those native bees, specifically several different kinds of bumblebees, but not entirely. So we have dozens and dozens and dozens of species of native bees. And our native bees have developed a really special, interesting technique to pollinate certain flowers.
Including the manzanita here?
Including the manzanitas.
Okay.
It is called, scientifically, sonication.
Cool.
But the rest of us cool kids down here, we call it buzz pollination.
Yeah, baby. Buzz, buzz.
Now, before I get into that, I will then tell you the last and final thing. We'll circle back to flowers.
Okay.
Once the flowers are pollinated by this fancy technique,
Oh, yeah.
they then turn into big round red fruit that can be almost 1.5 centimeters around. It's the biggest fruit of all the manzanitas.
You might call it a big berry.
You might call it a big berry.
But
In fact,
I'm assuming it's not a berry.
it is, well, I think it might be a drupe. Yeah,
And
that's fair with me.
it's also not that big.
It is, yes, considerably smaller than most things you would consider, but much larger than most other manzanitas. But here's the thing. Manzanita itself means little apple.
Oh, yeah.
Is that not the cutest thing you've ever heard of?
Manzana in Spanish.
There you go.
Okay.
So, little
that's so
apple.
precious. These
Yeah.
do look like little apples.
Yeah. Oh.
I want to eat them now.
I had a green apple this morning. It was horrible.
Never eat a green apple.
It came in my CSA. What am I supposed to do?
Why
Throw
would
it?
they do that?
Well, because someone grew it and they made a mistake, and here I am dealing with it.
See, that would make sense if there were like 20 green apples, and you'd be like, oh, I'm going to make a pie.
Maybe
'Cause
that's
they're
what they
good in
expect me to do. I
pies.
think I had 4, maybe 4 or 5.
You can make a tartlet at most.
Oh my god. Let's move on from tartlets, okay?
Why? Are these edible little apples?
Not for us. They are unpalatable to humans. They're very mealy.
I'm
And
assuming
these ones
that
are also very
other-
sticky. So
Oh.
they're kind of covered in these little glandular hairs,
Okay.
along with the flowers, in fact.
I can kind of see that in the photos here.
Yeah. So if you pick one up, they'll kind of stick to your hands. They'll stick on little animals and things. But they're not for us to eat. Foxes love them. Little animals love them. Grouse, birds. They'll eat the heck out of them.
They look frosted.
They very much do with the glandular hairs on the outside.
They're sort of Christmassy looking, Casey.
They really are. Yeah, totally. But I think they could be around Christmas. The flowers usually bloom in late winter. Like March is the latest they're blooming.
Oh.
And they set their flowers the year prior. So the flower buds will just kind of sit there all winter long, and then late winter, early spring, then they'll go pop out.
And we get fruit in the harvest?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, throughout the summertime. Now, again, let's talk about first the flowers and then the fruit and how it kind of works with what these species do. So this sonication, this buzz pollination, is really fascinating.
Tell me more.
Well, there are native honeybees, and this has evolved in several different species independently. They have figured out that there are different plants that have pollen inside the anthers, which are on the stamen, which are the male parts that produce all the pollen in the flowers. But they are in these really tightly packed and inaccessible spaces inside these anthers.
Okay, yeah.
They're called poricidal anthers.
Okay. The anthers hold the stamen?
No. The stamen is made up of the anther on the top and the filament, which is the long stem that holds it up.
Man.
Those are the two parts that make up one thing.
I got to read that flower book.
So, what does this mean? This means that essentially the pollen is just kind of stuck inside this very, very tightly compacted little piece of anatomy. And it doesn't just freely open up and say, "Here, everyone, take my pollen. It's for you."
I actually maybe can I pitch my theory on what this is?
Yeah.
And if I'm right, we can edit it out so that we can actually tell the story.
No, what are you talking about? I love this. This is perfect. Tell me, what do you think?
Here's my theory on what buzz pollination is.
All right.
I think the bees sit on the outside of the flower
Okay.
and they go
Yeah.
and they rev up, and out of the bell of this urn-shaped little flower falls the pollen, and the bee goes zoom and zips back and forth underneath it as it falls to the ground.
All right. That's fabulous. That's pretty much it.
How close am I?
You are, I would say, if we were giving this a ranking out of 10 golden closenesses of honor, you would probably be about a 7.
That's not bad.
That's not bad at all. The only thing that you got wrong is that they don't fly afterwards. They stay on the plant, on the flower or in the flower.
Okay.
And then they do that. And so the pollen just kind of rains out onto them.
Oh, so they sit kind of underneath it.
Yeah.
And zzz, and then just let it fall on them. And
exactly.
They're oh, that was great.
That was fabulous. Yeah, it's
away.
Yeah, it's like a waterfall of pollen.
Yeah.
Let's not look any further into that.
Wow. Okay. Like a golden shower.
It's like a golden shower of pollen.
Of pollen.
Yeah, well, pollen, please. These are bees, okay? We're here. This is what we're talking about. Don't Google it.
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah, so this is how it works. In the technical sense, for any other, well, I shouldn't say any other, but for most of the flowers that are buzz pollinated, what they do is the bees will go into, and it's almost only bees. In fact, they're pretty positive it's only bees. No other kind of insect, but maybe flies, might do this.
These are bumble.
It's not necessarily bumblebees, but bumblebees do, in fact, have this technique.
Okay.
But the European honeybees do not. Several other, mason bees or other just kind of solitary bees will do this.
This is indigenous knowledge.
You got to be here of the species in order to know what you're doing for these particular flowers.
Fabulous.
So they will fly over, they will get into the flower, not in our case, just generally speaking, and they will move their thoracic muscles, which are their flight muscles, but they kind of disengage their wings kind of thing.
Yeah.
So they're not actively flapping their wings, but you can hear the muscles inside going.
They just turn the engine on.
Exactly. They're in idle, though.
Okay, cool.
So they walk in and they'll make their little buzzy sounds and they'll vibrate at the right frequency that it will shake loose in a very apparently violent way the pollen that's tucked inside these poricidal anthers, and then it will come raining out.
Yeah, I wonder if they just know the right speed setting to really resonate with the flower.
Allegedly, they might actually learn it over time. Wow. So a young bee will be buzz, and they'll be like, okay, that kind of worked.
Sure.
And then they'll refine it as they go to new flowers. And they'll be like, oh, great, we got to figure it out. And then they will dial it in. But science, of course, is hesitant to say anything learns, especially an arthropod like a bee. bee. But that's pretty much the only way you can really look at it, right?
That's incredible.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Okay.
So you are exactly right. Specifically with manzanitas, the hole is too small for them to get in.
Sure.
So they can't actually crawl up into it. They stay on the outside, do that, and let it all fall down. As the pollen falls, it lands on the stigma and it pollinates the flower, and then it lands on the bee, and there's this dust storm of pollen. They pack it away, then they fly to the next one.
That's incredible.
It is amazing. Only 6% of plants do this.
6%?
6%.
Have you seen those videos of like a wasp will attack a bee colony?
Yeah.
And then the bees will surround the wasp and just shake their little asses until they roast the
They
wasp
roast
to
it.
death.
Yeah, that's how they deal with I think it's like the Japanese giant hornet or something like that. Yeah, Alex is freaking out, and he has made his hands far too big, but they are very large insects.
This is how I view them.
He's using 2 hands to show how big the thing is.
The
It's like,
size of a miniature schnauzer.
yeah, every single time he tells a story, it gets a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger.
That is something I do. Okay, well that's fascinating.
Isn't that
Casey.
just fabulous?
They use the same function to attack, to defend to attack their predators.
Exactly. Yeah.
As to attack a good meal of pollen.
Exactly. If you get dozens of them, it will get really hot in there, and then they will burn you up. If it's just one on one little flower, then it's actually just a nice little dance.
So
Yeah.
now, will they get anything out of the? Because I know now that maybe I'm mistaken. Actually, that bees don't eat pollen; they eat nectar.
Yeah. Okay.
So does nectar also come out of this flower?
No.
What are they getting out of
They
it?
are getting pollen, because so they do eat pollen.
Okay.
But it's more they collect it for the hive, and they
Yeah.
bring it. I should say nest. These are native only. If it's in a box, it's a hive.
Okay.
If it is in anything that's natural, it's a nest.
Gotcha.
So they will bring it back to the nest, and they will push it down into where their babies are. So this is actually very common with mason bees, which are the ones that get a bunch of mud, and they will find a little hole. They will lay their egg inside, and they will push in a bunch of pollen into this hole. Then they will use their masonry skills to cover it up
Sure.
with mud.
Yeah.
That way nothing can get in. Then the little larva is doing perfectly well, and it has all the food that it eats, which is all the pollen. Then once it becomes big, turns into an actual bee, chews its way out, and then flies away, and the whole cycle begins again.
Mud,
Mud. This is what these
not
are.
wax.
No, this is they might use some wax to solidify the mud, but mason bees they'll cover it up with a little bit of mud.
Where do they go and get the mud?
Yeah. They'll go collect soil. And this is where you might be right. I actually don't know much about mason bees in terms of do they use saliva or a waxy substance to kind of
Weird.
bind it all together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wild.
If you, I was actually sitting on one of my porches that I've had over the years, and I would watch one of these bees go into holes that were drilled into the table, and it was where someone would screw in like a leg into the actual top of the table. So they usually put plugs on that so that, it just looks nice.
Oh, sure.
Over the years, those plugs had fallen out. So some bees found that. They would crawl in, drop off their goods, and then fly away. And I watched it do it for maybe a week or two. And then when I came out one day, they were perfectly sealed up. Every single one.
With what?
With mud. They seal it up with mud. It's just like a little muddy plug.
Casey stands up at the town hall meeting. They seal it up with mud.
They seal it up with mud, you idiots.
Give me a little echo there.
They seal it up with mud. With mud.
There you go. Yeah,
That's too much.
Play-
With
play
mud. I don't like it. This freaks me out. I'm getting freaked out.
Have some fun with it there. Go for it.
Out.
Turn the middle dial up.
It's already up.
All the way.
It's already up to the whole world.
Cool.
And you will find this in space. Yeah.
Isn't that just a fun tool?
It is a fun tool. I think I saw a concert with someone using these.
Oh, yeah.
And they had a good time with it.
Yeah, they're wonderful. Well, Casey, that is some good news. No pun included.
Wow, I don't know what you mean by that. So here's the next thing about these
wow.
manzanitas, Alex.
Okay.
So they do this buzz pollination,
I
right?
know there's more.
There's always more.
Okay.
You can't stop me. Ever.
I could hit this. Oh,
Ever.
there you go.
So here's the deal. Once they are pollinated, Once our manzanitas get pollinated,
Uh-huh.
they then create those little berries, or little apples, right? So those little apples are unique amongst the world of plant things, certainly in the California floristic province, because they grow in that chaparral I was telling you about. Are you familiar with chaparral? Kind of
I know
what it is?
chaparral roan.
Oh, yes. Okay. Different kind of chaparral.
I know.
This one is not quite as draggy or as popular or as good at singing that I know of.
I know Dave Chaparral.
Okay. Yeah.
Is that similar?
No, different situation entirely.
Did I ever tell you that I said I'd never heard her name said out loud, and I thought it was
Chapel Roan, you mean?
Yes,
Okay.
and I thought it was Chappelle Roan, and I said that in front of my niece, and she was like, "Oh, it's Chapel." I was like,
I think that's
fuck.
hilarious. You know what? That's when you look her right in the eye and you say, "No, it isn't."
Yeah, it's not. You're misinformed.
Yeah.
You're just a little girl.
You're stupid. You kick her in the shins and you run away.
Oh no.
This is again teenage Alex.
Oh
being
sure,
cool.
sure. Okay. I don't know what chaparral. It's a mountain range, no?
It is not a mountain range.
Okay. What am I thinking?
I don't know. I love this idea. Chaparral, you might, mountain range is fair enough, but it's a forest type. And I say forest type because it's a shrubland plant community. It's not really a forest, but we're talking about a tree. So in this case, you know what I'm going to say? It is.
Okay.
So anyone who lives in Southern California knows this exact kind of plant community type.
Well, shrublands.
It's a shrubland, and it covers vast amounts of space.
Okay.
Where it's generally not an area that is like fire dependent, but it is an area that is it's adapted to fires. So usually there's not a lot of fires. It's a very infrequent fire situation, but when fires happen, it fucking destroys everything.
Oh wow.
It is usually, again, with quotes, stand replacing fires. It kills everything. And this is a lot of the fires that have been going on in Southern California over the last 10 years have been in these chaparral forests of Southern California, where you are, like, let's say you're near Santa Barbara. You go from LA to Santa Barbara. You're driving over these big, nice, rolling hills, and you're like, wow, this is like kind of really beautiful. And then you go across a ridge and it's just burned up entirely.
Wow.
That's the kind of space that we're talking about.
Okay.
Super common down there. It goes from Baja California up through California to very southern Oregon, and there's only a handful of places around the world that have similar types, because usually it's like grassland with kind of a woodland shrubby existence, or it's a full forest. But this is a full forest of like 10 or 12 foot tall shrubs.
Oh.
Almost impossible to walk through.
Oh my God. Yeah.
It's insane.
Wow.
It's all throughout this area.
And very flammable.
So flammable, especially when it gets dry. All of these winds come through and it just burns through
man.
in no time. Moves very
Okay.
quickly. They're all gone.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. These shrubland areas, this chaparral, is made up of a lot of oaks and some ceanothus and a bunch of manzanita.
Cool.
So manzanita grows up and burns out and usually has two kind of forms of taking care of itself. One, several of them grow with what's called a burl at the base, which is a lignotuber.
Cool.
You're familiar with this from... yes, sir. Sir?
I shouldn't have interrupted you.
Sir?
Whoa.
Man, I'm getting good at this.
That's a fun one. Well, I've heard of a burl, certainly.
Yes. Now, this is not the burl that I think you're thinking of.
Okay, well, tell me what I'm trying to think of.
You remember...
Or
when-
should be thinking of.
So all you Australians down there, I'm sorry. Whatever it is that you guys call the growth of the lignotuber at the base of eucalyptus trees that I pronounced melee. So essentially, a lot of eucalyptus will grow in a way where they have a big lignotuber, which is kind of like this stem portion that grows at the base of the tree, and anytime fire comes through, it sprouts a bunch of new stems that come up.
Emergency rations.
Exactly. It's emergency based. Actually, coast redwoods do this. A lot of species in fire adapted cypress family trees will do this. So it's essentially this big base. And as soon as something happens to the main stem or stems above it, it sends up a dozen new dormant buds that create a whole new plant.
That's interesting. It's like the first line of, like, tripwire, like
Yeah, totally.
like something's going on down there. Just, let's take care of it.
Yeah, it's like a Hydra situation for me,
Oh, sure.
where you cut off one top and then it's like, well, great, and it grows a bunch of new ones.
Yeah.
So that is what some manzanitas do. Now, our manzanita, our Arctostaphylos glauca, Bigberry, doesn't have this. So what it does, and what most of the others will do, is their seeds will stay inside their fruit, and if they don't get eaten and dispersed, they will just sit on the plant, or they'll fall onto the ground below it.
Okay.
Then a fire comes through, and literally the chemicals in the smoke and the heat will create the right situation that those seeds inside the fruit will basically be like, oh, hey, it's time to grow.
Wow.
And then they will pop open, germinate, send their roots down, and they'll have nothing growing above them because the fire just destroyed all of the canopy of the shrubland on top.
That's very interesting.
And then they will pop back.
And they won't grow if there's no fire.
They won't grow, not if there's no fire.
That's really cool.
Yeah, you got to burn them up a little bit, and then they're like, all right, you're cool. I'm into that. Let's do it.
So if there are many years without a fire,
Yep.
and lots of years of fruit falling, the next time there is a fire, is it just like a crazy amount of manzanita sprouts?
Yes.
Okay.
That is the thing. That's why these shrublands are so intensely thick.
Yeah.
Because they are just growing up all from everything all at once. As soon as a fire comes through, they immediately react and they regrow their entire shrub base.
Interesting.
It is a fascinating area and is so beautiful, but so like understated, you know? But it is so much of Southern California that it's kind of mind-boggling when you go through. And to get through, you are like completely wrecking yourself if you're just trying to walk. It's so dense and so thick. And of course, it's all like protected from herbivory, so it's all very sharp and pokey and sticky, and you're just like, drives me crazy.
Are there trails?
If you
Roads?
Yes, you can do that. If someone has done that, it makes the whole thing way easier.
I would think so.
Otherwise, you're just walking through what I would describe as hell.
That sounds awful.
It's awful. The manzanitas, they love it. Fine, you can keep it. It's a good way to keep people out of your space.
Sure.
Hey, you better be careful. I might also light on fire at a moment's notice.
And replicate.
Yeah, so
wow, damn. Okay.
This is just one of the many fascinating things about manzanita that, again, I learned from Michael Kaufman's book, The Field Guide to Manzanita. So go pick that up, you guys. It's on we got a link in our show notes and everything. Go find it.
I'm sorry about what I said, Michael.
Yes. See, this is the thing about you, Alex. We go into it and you're like, you know what? I don't like this. This is dumb. But then we talk about it and you're like, okay.
If not that,
nice.
it's just that I was being snarky as a joke, but I'm very sensitive and I feel like I don't like being that way.
Now apologize to our Australian fans.
Sorry for calling you a load of
Jesus. Kids, don't tell your parents you listen to this podcast. But if you do, ask them what that word means.
There are no Chaparral Mountains.
Oh, what?
Google,
I see.
The AI overview on Google is like, I think you may be confusing something for something else.
Okay, you're right. There are no Chaparral Mountains.
Yeah.
They are just a type of forest growing on mountains.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we can round it up, maybe.
All right,
I like that idea. Let's say, get into them Chaparral Hills over there.
NPS.gov, there's a page called Chaparral, and then it says, hyphen Santa Monica Mountains.
There it is. This is the place.
So that's probably where I confused my brain cells.
I think this is very fair.
Okay, great.
Well, if you ever get down there, if you're down in the Southern California area, say Santa Monica Mountains, go and find some of these amazing plants.
I'd love to.
And you're going to find dozens of species. There's at least, I think, 11 that are native to Oregon. I think there's like 9 in the Siskiyous itself.
All of Manzanita.
All of Manzanita has probably just one kind of Manzanita. That's the Columbianum. They're beautiful.
Okay.
They're not really, not trees. They're not trees, so we can't really talk about them.
Okay.
Anyway, we draw a line here.
Yeah.
It's it's an arbitrary line.
Nice one, Case.
Pow.
Do it again.
Pow. Pow.
Yeah. Put that other dial, there you go.
Man, I feel like we almost just sent ourselves into the oblivion.
Pretty cool. Wow.
Okay. We got.
Isn't that so fun?
That is kind of fun. I'll admit it. It helps me make a good point.
Yeah, it really drives it home.
It really does because
home. They're
spinning out of control.
Well, Casey, let's spin out of control into a quick break, and when we get back, we're gonna give the Manzanita, the Bigberry Manzanita, a bit of a big score, or we'll see. We'll be right back here on Completely Arbortrary. Welcome back to Completely Arbortrary. That was our discussion of the Manzanita. It's time to give a rating to the Manzanita.
The Bigberry Manzanita.
The Bigberry Manzanita. And here's how it works. We're going to give some final thoughts on this little apple and then give it a rating of 0 to 10 golden cones of honor. As our resident expert, we'll begin with you, Casey.
This sounds good. I would like to first dedicate everything from here on out to August Schwartz.
August Schwartz.
Love that guy.
May the August Schwartz be with you.
Yes, thank you. He also, that's good. That's good. My Schwartz is bigger than yours. He is the one who let me borrow the Manzanita book, and we chatted lots about Manzanitas. It's one of his favorite kinds of things. He is a chaparral princess, which is wonderful. Having said all that,
wow,
I really am not a chaparral princess.
Sure.
It is lovely to see it and think, that's nice. But I am a Pacific Northwesterner. I like the big forest trees that cover everything, and you're tall, you're walking through, so you can actually get from here to there in a forest, in an ecosystem, without scratching the hell out of yourself.
Yeah.
I know that it can sometimes be too much to ask, so I'm not going to force anyone to also agree with me, namely August.
And if you bring a machete, and you hack down a couple limbs on your way through this chaparral,
whatever you want to call it.
This chaparral, you'll look back to see your path, and there are 5 new trees will be in your way.
They're already right there.
Yeah.
It is a wonderfully beautiful area. I, in particular, though, like this particular species because it gets so large. And like the madrone has that really incredible bark and the exfoliating older bark and everything.
Oh, yeah.
They're just super gorgeous. Everyone loves them because of that. But when they're small, they don't really show it off as much. And it's there, and you can be like, okay, fine. They're very closely related, these two genera.
I can see that.
So this guy, I think, looks beautiful mostly because it gets so large.
Yeah.
So that in and of itself is the only reason we can even cover it, but that also pushes its score a little bit higher because I like to see the big, huge stems, the perfectly orange madrone colored maroon stems arcing up, sinuously moving around. I'm just like, oh man, get me into that. It's the only one I can climb because it's just the only one that's big enough. Other than the other one, let's not worry about that. That little guy, whatever.
I'm gonna start using that as a pickup line. Get me into that.
Yeah, get me in that. Whoa.
That was a great one, Case.
Thank you. I've been practicing. It turns out if I just use 2 hands.
There you go.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah. So I think that I'm going to give this a 7.5 out of 10 golden cones of honor.
Very good.
Thank you.
7.5.
Yes, and that is my rating. 7.5 out of 10 golden cones of honor.
Casey, I like this tree. I think it's fine. I'm going to give it a 6.5. Now, here's why.
Okay, this has been a little disappointing to hear from you.
Sorry.
Okay, let me have it.
I think all the elements are fine.
Okay.
I think all the elements are pretty cool.
Okay.
But this is a rare case of, I believe that this tree is less than the sum of its parts.
Whoa! Shoo! How? Okay.
I love the bark.
I had never heard you say this before.
I know. I don't even know where it came from.
Okay, yeah. Let's dive into this, buddy.
Is it some inner demon that crawls inside you? Clockwork Orange. I think all the elements are really great in a vacuum, and then I see the whole thing and I see where it lives, and I'm like, oh. I mean, sorry. The chaparrals, you could not pay me to step foot near one of these landscapes.
Really?
When you were describing it, I was like, oh, this is my nightmare. Is to be trapped in a place where I'm constantly being scratched from all angles.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, you might as well put me in a swimming pool full of cats. Right, Case?
You know what? Now that you say it,
Yeah.
it is exactly like that.
The chaparrals are basically...
A swimming pool filled with cats.
It kind of sounded like it was saying rats.
Man, okay, this is too much. Let's keep going.
I just don't appreciate how it grows. I think it's a little much, and that's why I give it a 6.5.
Okay, I need a. Can I have an intervention here?
Sure.
Are you talking about chaparral, or are you talking about the Bigberry Manzanita?
I am talking about both.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
You keep saying Burberry.
Yeah.
This is the Bigberry.
Bigberry. What did you say?
Isn't there a Burberry?
Oh yeah, you're right. I guess there is barberry. Bearberry.
Bearberry.
Alex, I'm just trying to copy you, and I'm doing a horrible job.
I am
Bigberry.
one of a kind.
Yeah, that's true. I'm just going to pronounce it straight Bigberry.
Alex Bigberry Crowson.
Alex Bigberry Crowson. That is what we call you.
Yeah.
Since high school. So, okay. I wanted to check in just to make sure that you were talking about the tree, not where it grows.
If you ask me, being around this tree is like being in a swimming pool full of cats.
Okay.
I say again.
He cannot get beyond that. Okay, I think this is fine. I hope that you can see it from afar someday outside of the swimming pool of cats.
Let me say a couple more things.
And think it's good. Okay, please, yeah.
That maybe are affecting my score. I don't love Manzanita, the town.
Oh, well, okay. Well, again, we're talking about the tree that grows in Southern California.
I know.
It colors the picture. That's okay. This counts.
I do love the flowers.
You do like the flowers.
Immediately, I was like, oh, those are gorgeous.
Some wonderful flowers.
And I think maybe there's some sort of like, we started this whole thing with like, this is basically a tree, and it is, but I don't know. I feel like it's a pretender.
Wow.
It comes from a family of shrubs. A genus of shrubs. And when I say family on this podcast, I'm saying lowercase f.
Yeah.
The
That's
emotional family.
Yes.
And I just don't think I don't know. I just kind of look at it like, I don't know if I trust you. You ever meet somebody, Casey, and immediately little alarm bells go off? And you're like, my friends like you, but I get a really weird feeling from you, and I'm gonna avoid you.
Weird. Okay.
You ever meet people like that? Sure.
Right? I'm sure I have. I
Yeah.
have been like, you know what? I will not trust you further than I can throw you.
Yes, there's some weird pheromone consternation between the two of you, where you're like, I just don't like you.
Okay. Yeah. I know what you mean. I know what you're talking about.
And I don't choose to try to like you. That's kind of how I'm feeling about the Manzanita.
Wow.
But
makes your hair stand up on the back of your neck.
Yeah, a little bit. But it is beautiful in a couple of different ways.
Okay.
So that's why it gets a 6.5.
I appreciate your candor here. I think that is quite nice of you to be so honest and forthright, vulnerable.
Well, thanks. I appreciate you appreciating my candor.
But God dang it, look at the bark.
I know. Listen, Case.
It's just not...
It's good. That's
Okay,
why I say
fine.
it's less than the sum of its parts. I like all the parts. I don't like the tree as a whole.
Interesting. Okay, I think this is very okay. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Here's something else I appreciate. The Completely Arbitrary AMA.
Oh,
And if you want to ask a
yeah.
question on this podcast, become a Treemium member at arbitrarypod.supercast.com. Tab over to that AMA section and ask away. This week, we got one from Richard.
Hello, Richard.
Richard says,
Oia la hua, Merosoderos polymorpha. I'm looking at pretty flowers from this book.
Casey is speaking in tongues, and instead of snakes, he's holding his Hawaiian flower book.
Hawaiian flowers.
We got to get you one of those. Richard says, hello there. I was just wondering if an endangered species of plant or tree were to be found at a potential construction site.
Oh.
Would that halt the construction and save the natural area? And if it would stop the construction, could a person, again, theoretically, guerrilla plant something native and endangered in order to facilitate a stoppage of the destruction of our natural landscapes? Now, oh my God. Well, here's what I think. My cynical brain is like, they would just remove it, put it somewhere else, and keep building.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to stop them.
Progress will progress.
Yeah. This high rise of two expensive apartments with a bunch of homeless people living outside will be made. And no endangered species of tree is going to stop us.
Oh, yeah. Well, see, 99% of the time, it's just gigantic single-family McMansions. Not even high-rise.
McMansions. I love that. Well, what do you think, Case? Could the discovery, like Native American artifacts, could the discovery of an endangered species on a construction site halt construction?
Well, gosh, okay, so this is kind of a fun one. It actually has come up a lot, and there is some folks that we should tag called the Habitat Project, Wild Habitat, Native Habitat Project. That's their name. Woo, we did it.
Nice.
They're down in Alabama, and he's a botanist and a forest ecologist. He's a really cool guy doing a lot of fun stuff, saying, everyone, look at all these really cool plants. And he, in particular, is absolutely enraged about a giant development in what was this beautiful prairie area.
Wow.
And he went out onto that prairie land and he found listed species that were growing in this area, listed either at the state level, so like endangered or threatened in the state of Alabama, or in the United States more fully.
Found.
Yes. So he's like, they're there. I've seen them. I am a professional botanist and an ecologist.
Yeah.
This should make it so they have to stop.
Yeah.
But here's the problem. This has been one of the big issues with the Endangered Species Act for a really long time. And I've heard about a lot of things over here in the West, in the Southeast, like wherever there is like an endangered bird that lives in trees that are about to be harvested. You go out there and you find it, you are responsible to say, hey, I found this bird. That is then you saying, we cannot do the thing that's going to make me a bunch of money. So why the hell would you, as a developer or as forester or as something who wants to cut down these trees, who wants to build the thing, whatever it is, you walk out, you see an endangered owl, and you think to yourself, if I just shoot that owl right now, there was no endangered owl on this property. If I shoot this woodpecker, if I just ride over these little flowers, they no longer exist. You never found them. They were gone.
What endangered owl?
Exactly. So if there is like a federal agent or an agency rather that comes out and like does a survey and says, okay, yeah, actually, in fact, my friend Yeti does this. So shout out to Yeti. I don't even know if she's going to listen to this, but she should, because she was the reason I even wanted to do buzz pollination. We talked all about it. If you look on my Instagram, I'll put a bunch of pictures of us looking at plants over this last week.
And Yeti is somebody who comes out and says, I'm just going to make sure there's nothing endangered here.
Exactly. So Yeti works for the Forest Service here on the Mount Hood National Forest.
Cool.
And goes out and they say, hey, we're going to sell this for timber. Go check to make sure that everything's above board.
Wow.
So Yeti would go out and do all these surveys and say, well, here is an endangered checkered mallow or whatever, and then say, you can't cut in this area, or you have to leave this section untouched because this is where this threatened or rare or whatever species is there.
Sounds like a cool job.
It's a great job. It is one of the more important jobs that anyone can do. But generally speaking, to Richard's question, yes, in a technical sense, if there is an endangered species on a property and they're about to destroy it, that is illegal. It is an endangered species. It's protected by the Endangered Species Act, or if it's threatened or whatever, or if it's a state act, that kind of thing. Then you can easily say, you can't do that. Tell the regulators should theoretically come out and say, yeah, sorry, halt, you need to save this thing right here.
Regulators work for whom?
They are the government.
Okay.
So that would be the Fish and Wildlife Service. It could be, a lot of different agents. Really, it is a law from the United States government that then has to be followed by everybody below. They always supersede everything.
Okay.
So if you say, botanist at the city of Portland, I found this this native endangered plant on this site, then the city of Portland has to say, okay, great, you may not destroy that habitat.
And the construction company has to follow that order.
They have to follow that order.
And if they don't,
it's a big fine.
This is a problem.
This is the problem, Alex. Exactly.
Big fines will never be a good means of stopping rich people from doing something.
Correct. Most of the time. And oftentimes they will just say, okay, great, we're not going to do that, and they'll move on to a different land.
Oftentimes, okay.
Yeah, I mean, like if the city, if there's a protected tree, our heritage trees, then they would figure out either how to make it work, or they would just say, yeah, that's not worth my time to develop there. I can't build the thing that makes me enough money to make the effort worth the juice worth the squeeze. So in this case, if it is development, it is a wetland area. Sometimes they can hire a company to come in and like remove all that area and transfer it elsewhere. Well, not the area, but the plant. This happens with wetlands where you do wetland mitigation.
Sure, I've heard this.
Yeah, essentially that's like, great, we're going to destroy this wetland and turn it into houses, but we're going to create a new wetland over here.
And do they pick up all the plants and animals?
No, of course not. They just destroy everything that is currently there, but then will replant from seed other plants over in a different place. But most of the time, that's not endangered or threatened species.
Yeah.
If they are endangered or threatened, you can't touch them.
Yeah, you can't even relocate them.
No, that is
Good,
their spot.
okay.
That's where they're at.
Cool.
So theoretically, that should be how it is. I would almost guarantee if that was found, they would just go straight over it. And once they're gone, they're gone. And if the regulators don't come in time and say, wow, we saw that, it wasn't documented property, you just get away with it.
Oh, so there's some red tape that if you don't get through fast enough,
Yeah,
you can't
conceivably.
really do anything.
Yeah, I mean, you call someone and you say you guys should get out there. They're not going to be like, oh my God, and drop everything they're doing. They'll say, great, we will get here and figure that out. It's just, the time-honored process of bureaucracy,
Yeah.
time, no funding, all that kind of stuff.
Nice and slow.
Yeah, so theoretically, you could stop a development by planting those on there, but if it wasn't there and then it was there and you call the regulators come out and they say, okay, this has clearly been planted here because it's pretty obvious,
Sure.
You're going to see disturbed soil. It's going to be maybe different size than everything else.
They're going to dust it for prints.
Exactly, and they're going to be like, hold on, this smells like larceny.
These are raccoon prints.
Yeah. So, you could try that. But
If you get caught,
if you get caught, then first off, they'll be like, okay, where did you get this endangered species from to plant it over here,
yeah.
So
can you replicate more so that we can make it not endangered?
yeah, right? Wouldn't that be nice? But yeah, there's a lot of little different rules and regulations and things about that because if you have one in your possession, the question is, where did you get that?
Sure.
If you can say, oh, I got it from seed and I grew it like this and I'm propagating it for whatever reason, that could work, but you gotta very much follow certain rules and like get the permits to do that kind of work.
And I'm assuming this comes with its own fine.
I mean, it would
Or
if
jail
they
time.
ever went down that huge rabbit hole. But for the most part, no one's going down that rabbit hole. Like it's a law, you got to follow it, but the enforcement, unless it's a big deal and a lot of things have been destroyed, then it's a 50-50 chance of it actually getting like followed up on.
Okay.
So-
this is like the stolen bike of like police reports.
It kind of can be.
It's like what are we gonna do?
Yeah, they're going to try their best, but there's just too much to deal with, and there's often no one reports it because who's looking other than botanists in the wild and tree people who are like, I know how to identify this very particular invasive species,
Sure.
this very particular endangered species.
Sure.
You gotta know first what you're looking at, and you gotta fight against the people who either don't have any idea and don't care, or do know and actively want the opposite of that.
Yeah.
So the forces that be can sometimes cause a lot of trouble.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
so technically, yes, but practically, probably not.
not all the time.
Yeah.
It should be the case. So if you find a endangered species or
Yeah.
a threatened species on a site, definitely tell someone.
Yeah.
Tell the city, tell the county, tell whoever the regulating body is for that spot.
Okay.
And say this project needs to be at least temporarily stopped to figure out what to do about this situation.
Cool.
That is the right thing to do. I would love if you could guerrilla plant some things and make it work. That is on your conscience to figure out how you're going to do that. If the plant is there and you can stop something that will destroy it, I am for it.
Nice. Yeah.
Ultimately, I think that we could build places that aren't necessarily filled with beautiful species that are endangered or threatened.
All right. Thanks, Richard, for your question. Like I said, if you got a question for us, arbitrarypod.supercast.com. Become a Treemium member. You can join the Cone Club and get monthly cone stickers, botanical stickers sent right to your door. How fun. Casey, Clapp.
Alex Crowson,
We're back at it from a few weeks off.
we did it.
Feeling good. Oh, nice.
Thank you.
You know what? I'm gonna fade in milk
Do it.
to the sounds of you playing with that thing.
Do it now. Sorry.
Keep going.
Thank you, everyone. Have a really great time. This is Casey Clapp signing off. Go buy my book, The Trees Around You. It's the best one. Go Completely Arbortrary is hosted by Casey Clapp and Alex Crowson.
Our music is by Aves and the Mini Vandals, and our artwork is by Jillian Barthold.
To support the podcast and get rewards in return, become a Treemium member at arbitrarypod.supercast.com.
Thanks for listening.